Hello, Western Civilization 105 class. We will be starting on the 22nd of this month, and so I want to welcome you all and just give you some feedback on what to expect. I will be giving you much more details as we lead up to the class, but first of all, I just want to point out that I don't know why, but many times I'll start a summer class and students, they look and they see that there's 7 weeks that we'll be having, and they're excited because it's a short class, and they're not fully grasping the fact that it's 7 weeks of the same information that you would get in a regular semester. So that means you're going to be doing lots and lots of extra work during the week. Okay, we're going to average about 3 chapters a week. That's a lot. So I need you to be in that mindset. Okay, so if you have a significant other, friends, let them know you're going to be occupied just for this time. I highly for some students that want to take several summer courses, I don't recommend doing that. I can't stop you, but I just need to remind all of you, do not tell any of your professors, sorry I'm late with my work because I have this extra work in, let's say, anatomy class. You're telling your professor that their class isn't your priority. Don't do that, and you should never do that, ever, at any given point. But this happens a lot during summer time because students overwork themselves, and often they might look at something like history and they kind of see that as like the low on the priority list. Okay, it's not going to work for me, and it's not going to work for you. I am very supportive of my students. I'm going to do my best to help you succeed, but this is your focus for these 7 weeks, or at least make it look like it is. Okay. And I know that some of you have to work a lot as well. It's a challenge. I have 2 jobs, and I've been a single parent, much of my adult life. Now my daughter's 22 and lives on her own. But I'm just trying to say, okay, I want you to be aware. Focus to focus on this class. I do not do multiple choice. And so that means you don't have to memorize a lot of this information. But when I open up the first week's module, you're going to feel overwhelmed, most likely. Because you're going to look and you're going to see that we do watch a lot of videos. You're going to be doing a lot of reading. You're going to be doing discussions. And you're going to be doing lots of papers. So you do have to write a lot. If you're a person who just absolutely can't stand writing and resists writing, you might want to reassess taking this class. But what I do want to say to you is, it's not a research paper. The expectations on this paper are different than you might be thinking on the papers that you have to turn in each week. They're short, and actually, I require that you do not research. And in fact, if you've had me in other classes, I haven't really cracked down on this as much, but this is really something that I'm going to put out another announcement discussing what you should be doing on your papers to get full points. You will not be Googling and looking and putting some other information in and paraphrasing it or anything like that. The idea is that you watch all these videos, you watch the lectures and documentaries, you have the discussions, and then you reiterate what you just learned directly from the material covered in this class. That's all the papers are for. It's keeping you on top of the information. So you're working a lot, but success is realistic if you can work hard. So you don't have to be the best writer and or anything like that. You just need to do everything that's being asked of you during the week. Like I just mentioned, I'm going to put out some other announcements that give you an outline of exactly what you would need to do to get full points on your paper. Okay, so I'm not going to cover that now, but I just want you to be aware that's a thing you're going to have to do, and I'm going to be giving you the tools to do it well. Okay, that's realistic. I'm sore. I have been working so much at my other job. Anyhow, what else did I want to mention? Okay, so not only do you get all this extra work with the summer course, there's been a lot of things going on, right? So we are officially still in a pandemic, and I know that there is a good chunk of you that don't believe it's real. I have a friend, he doesn't believe it's real. But I also know people who tell me that they've lost loved ones that have had the coronavirus. Officially, we're at over 100,000. So this is a very tricky time. Some of you are mourning the loss of loved ones, and others are just feeling like that this is a government conspiracy. And I'm actually not here to scoff any of that. What I'm just trying to point out is I'm aware that there's a lot going in your brains and what you're feeling. Regardless of how you think or feel about this, many of you have lost your job or you're working a lot in a very stressful environment. So some of you have been losing your work. Also, many of us have been losing our minds, okay? Some of you have been in extreme isolation for various sets of reasons. These are not normal times. These are challenging times. So it doesn't matter what you think or feel. You can't escape being affected by what's been happening. Now, on top of that, we're having really large, intense demonstrations that are taking place all over the country and even going beyond all over the world. And the politics around those demonstrations are also, not all Americans are seeing this, of course, as all political things, eye to eye. In fact, we are seeing a lot of divisiveness in our country. Now, I want to just say something. I have strong political opinions, very strong. And some of those might spill out into the classroom. But my feeling is that the classroom should be a safe space for all of my students to not feel like that they're here to be judged on their politics, but able to get educated and learn about the subject matter in which you're taking. So in this case, you're taking Western Civ 105. We're going to be learning about the foundations of Western civilization and how we got here. I want us all together as a class to be able to do this, despite all the distractions, despite what you might be involved in right now and fighting for or against or whatever you're doing. I want you to be able to come to this class and empower yourself with knowledge about the civilization that you live in, even if you don't like it. I mean, that's the whole part of the point that I also want to make, is that Western civilization is a reality on a good chunk of the world. I have a picture in my introduction where I'm in Macau, and Macau is a small area that was ruled by the Portuguese. So there's the ruins of St. Paul's Church in China. Now it's officially back in China. It's a part of the one country, two systems system, along with Hong Kong. I visited there. I was in Hong Kong for like 3 months last year. And that's a whole other topic. I was there during the demonstrations also. I left from Hong Kong September 5th. But here's my whole point. Obviously, the tensions that we see between China and, let's say, our president are also based on a kind of tradition of West versus East history. And, the fact that we're located on a continent that's actually not in the West, but it's because of the West, which indigenous people here have strong opinions about. I live in Portland, Oregon right now, where there is a very strong presence of tribes, of people who sometimes call themselves American Indians, some do call themselves Native American, or they go by the tribe, identify as the specific tribe that they come from. But when I was in California, Modesto, California, I rarely met anybody who was Native American, and here I have many friends that are. I mean, and they have powwows, and they really are much into the culture. So my whole point is, we'll talk more about that later, that Western civilization is very impactful. And some people see it in a very positive and some negative. I'm going to cover the whole gamut. And we're going to get ourselves up to where we're at now. So as we are dealing with the pandemic and a debate about law enforcement and where that stands in racism and those kind of things in society that are create like where we're at now, I'm hoping that what you will all find, no matter where you stand on your politics, a better perspective, a better way of getting a grip of reality on how come things are the way that they are here. And I really try to provide nuance in my classes, okay? So that I'm kind of telling you how different sides look at the events that we're going to talk about. And so that's basically what I just really wanted to go over. As I was mentioning, I have another job, and I've been working a lot. I'm going to be scaling back on that so that I can focus on this class. I'm going to be eventually putting up the syllabus for you before class starts. I just have to work on all of that still. So what I wanted to mention last, I want to say, is that if you have questions and you have problems in this class, I'm going to do my best to be readily available to respond to you, okay? My goal is to help you have success. And as I've mentioned, and I can't remember actually if I did mention this, but I want to say many students do find that as they learn the patterns of how I do my classes, that they have the ability to succeed. And so I am going to be here to have your back, to help you get through no matter what more comes our way, because I think we know now 2020 is no joke, okay? No matter what you think about anything, we all agree that 2020 is like, whoa, like, man. I mean, it's not even like, should I laugh? I don't know, cry, like, just okay? So, we'll be in touch, and be seeing you soon.